My name is Shelly Bembridge, and I'm a sixth grade teacher this fall at Rocky Lake Elementary in Bedford. Welcome to the HRCE Summer Learning Academy, and I just want to say thanks for giving up your time. I hope you'll find that it is a front-end investment that will come back to you. So, welcome to the HRCE Summer Learning Academy, and thank you for giving up your time to be with me today. Today I'm going to be going over Book Creator Basics and showing you everything you need to start publishing using Book Creator for Chrome. Book Creator was initially created by a dad who was trying to find a way to get his kids as excited about learning as they were about using their technology. So he created this tool to support engagement and to encourage students to interact with the technology in a meaningful way. If you're going to purchase this app, it is $5.99, and I was lucky enough to have an administrator who saw the benefits of it and bought into it, and we actually have it on a whole cart of iPads at our school. However, now that we're starting to see more and more Chromebooks in schools, you don't need to have an iPad to access Book Creator. They've come out with a platform for Chrome, and it is free for educators. Now, the thing you have to remember is that students cannot publish books, they cannot create books unless you have them in your library. And the library that you are entitled to with a free account is 40 books. So what I encourage you to do is create a library that is one book per student, and then you might want to have some books that you use for collaboration in your class. So, as you will see, students and teachers can create and publish very professional books that they can then share electronically. It's super simple to make interactive pages with voice, text, video, images, and many more cool features. It's easy for students as young as primary to start using, and I've actually used it as part of my master's program at Memorial. So it also supports the differentiated student needs and abilities, which works really well for students on IPPs or adaptations. And it provides ease of publication and digital sharing of resources, particularly student-created resources. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, students get so excited with the professional product that they create using this wonderful tool. So you may not be familiar, but Tony Vinson has a really huge Twitter following, and he offers some really amazing courses online as well. He is actually an elementary classroom educator, and here's a quote for him, and he's used Book Creator with learners of all ages from kindergarten to adults. Its simplicity is refreshing. So students of all ages can use Book Creator and do use Book Creator very successfully. It's very intuitive, and it does not take a lot of instruction with students for them to start using it. And what's very nice about it is that a lot of the time, if you give students the opportunity to simply play with the app before you have them do anything that's connected to the curriculum, they will figure out how to use the app intuitively. They are so comfortable in technology that very quickly they become the masters and will be showing you some really cool tools that you can use, and you'll become their student. So the key to using Book Creator for Chrome is to create a library for students. And this is what your dashboard will look like. And again, you can have multiple libraries, but some of those libraries come with a fee. I'm going to focus on what you can get with the free login. So again, it's an open-ended creation tool that's available for both iOS and Chrome. Students and teachers can both create and publish books, and users can make interactive pages with voice and text, video, images, and more. And it's great for students of all ages, and I would really encourage you, if you have children at home or grandchildren, to try it with your family first. Try creating your own book, and you'll be amazed by how excited your family gets with what you can create. So there are lots of fun ways to use Book Creator in all subject areas, in all grade levels, and we're going to take a look at that together. And one of the things that Book Creator is really good about, and this is how I became familiar with Book Creator, was through my attendance at a technology conference. Their team attends almost every education technology conference that there is, and they really do a great job of responding to teacher feedback. They really want the app to be what educators want it to be. So they're really open to suggestions, and they take those suggestions and they really try hard to integrate it into their program. So as you can see, there are endless possibilities. Of what students can create with Book Creator. This is an example of how you can use an app for the Geoboard. And it gives you all examples of what you can do and how you can capture the images. And there are all kinds of related posts. So you can, it's like diving into the wormhole. You can really get caught up in some of the great ways that Book Creator is being used. And what's nice is that all of these things are available with tips. So they're all available in Book Creator books. So here's one on using Book Creator in the elementary classroom. And again, it's got hyperlinks in the table of contents. And you can see how it's being used in the classroom. And it's, again, free professional development, free resources that are available to you digitally. So in the event of remote learning, in the event that we have to do things paperless, this is a really awesome tool to use that, again, I will say, is free. And it allows students to work at their own differentiated abilities. Students can create electronic books and share them digitally, which is a really great thing in the middle of a pandemic. So you will find all kinds of really great resources on how you can create your own book inspired by Todd Parr's Peace Book. Now, the other thing that's really nice is if you have struggling readers or emergent readers.
3. Inspired by others.
And you can actually set the language. So for me, I found that language was really slow and I wouldn't enjoy listening to it like that. Now I also can change the accent.
There are so many great picture books that can inspire all types of learners. Books like this plus that by Amy Krauss Rosenthal, The Peace Book by Todd Parr, or an old classic The Important Book by Margaret Wise Brown. The best place to start is with a book with a repeating frame. Share the book with your students, and then let them recreate their own versions. Inspired by Todd Parr's Peace Book. A photo of Todd Parr's book The Peace Book. Take a look at Ryan's example page. Created by Ryan, age 8.
Peace is remembering all and being kind and love.
So all of these books are interactive, which again are great for learners who are learning to read or are struggling with their reading. So it allows them to get the content and have it read to them. So just having a pair of earbuds in the classroom will really facilitate that. And again, all of these resources are available free and online, and there's lots of great inspiration that you can find here. There are ways that you can integrate it into math. There are ways that you can integrate it into art. And this is an example of Maple the Duck by Sasha. And she has done a great little job of using her own artwork.
There once was an owner called April, and she owned a toy duck called Maple. She carried Maple here and there. She carried Maple everywhere.
And again, that's an integration of Puppet Pals.
Then one day April walked beside a lake, and she made a horrible, terrible mistake. She dropped Maple in the lake. April suddenly started to shake.
And a lot of app smashing is happening in this book where two apps are being used together to create a final polished book.
April cried for her parents to come, and then she saw them starting to run. Her dad dived in and grabbed the poor toy, and April started cheering in joy.
So again, this is another great example of how students can work cross-curricularly to create a book. Now you can also use it with younger learners. And this is a word work experience for our friends in California. So let's see what's going on here.
I am your friend. A. I see a snowball. The snow is white.
So again, it really works well for younger learners as well as older students. Now here's a page that was created by an older student. And this is Brunel's Great Britain by Ruby. And let's listen to Ruby.
Introduction. My family is a travelling family. That means we travel all around the world visiting new countries and places. My mum is a blogger, which means she writes a website about our travels. Our blog is called RTW Families, and I recommend visiting it. Because my mum's a blogger, we got to go to see the SS Great Britain for free.
Hyperlinks actually work. So it's like being in an interactive document. Now this is interesting because the blog is in another language. And this was the example that you saw in the video where the student layered his image and then his own artwork with the respiratory system and then labeled it to show his understanding. So again, there's just a few logistics that you need to remember for using Book Creator, and we're going to talk about Book Creator for Chrome. The big thing that you have to remember is that you have to be logged in to the Chrome browser, and you should be using your GNSPES email account to log in. It's really accessible from any device, but it works best on a device that has a webcam, so Chromebooks are really user-friendly. So we're going to take a little dive into how to use Book Creator, and at the end of this video I will use a Book Creator book to go over step-by-steps, but I'm going to go over just a couple of things for you. So to access Book Creator, you're going to want to go to the app.bookcreator.com, and you want to create a teacher account. You're going to sign in with your Google account, and you're going to see that there are no books in your library yet, and you want to create or show an invite code for others to join. You will see that there are no books in your library, and you want to share the invite code for others to join. It's easiest if you share that in Google Classroom. Now, when you create your first book, you have some choices to make. You can create a portrait book, a square book, a landscape book, or you can use the same sizes, but you can use a comic strip format for your book. Adding to your page is really quite simple and intuitive. Everything that you add to your page gets added with the plus symbol. You have a choice of adding media or shapes. From media, you can import items from your camera roll. You can import, you can also import files as well from Google Drive or My Documents. You can also upload images from the camera. You can use the pen. You can use the text feature. You can record. Now, here's an example of how you can use Google Images to add media to your book, and they all use copyright-free images, so it's a safe way to avoid any copyright issues. You'll see that you can also add Google Maps, which is kind of fun, especially for anything that has to do with geography or where people live. If you're doing anything on culture, it's a lot of fun to add a map of the place that you're describing in your book. You can add files, you can add items from your Google Drive, and you can also embed items from the web. Using the pen tool is a really fun way to add a little bit of visual appeal to your pages and a little bit of personalization. Now, it's really nice. You can also edit things, and you can also zoom them down. So if you don't get as much detail with drawing with your finger or with a mouse, what you can do is draw it really big, and then you can zoom it down and change the size of it, and then you'll find that it's a lot more accurate that way. You can change the font. You can add it a bold font, you can italic, you can underline, and you can also hyperlink text. One of the things that you have to remember is that everything in this box will be the same size, and it may be differentiated by bold, italic, or underline, but you can't differentiate within the same text box for color or different style fonts. You'd have to create a separate text box for that. You can change backgrounds for your page by pressing the I button, and that's the inspector button. And there are a ton of different options for your page, and it's really quite fun to talk with students about design. And you really want to make sure that you set design parameters for your students so that they don't get fixated on customizing every single different page of their book and lose focus on what the actual outcome is that you're using Book Creator to achieve. It's always about the outcome and not about the tool that you're using. So be sure to set really clear parameters for your students about how much time they can spend on this graphic piece of things, and model it for them and set expectations and be really clear. So you can also record your voice, and this is really great, particularly for students who are on adaptations or maybe English language learners who are struggling or not as quick at recording their thoughts in writing as they may be orally. It is a real leveling field for students to share their thinking and show what they know, and they really love hearing their own voices. It is important to try to get your students using headphones that have microphones, because if you are in a classroom with a lot of environmental noise, the quality of your recording will be questionable if there's a lot of ambient noise. So be mindful of that, and make sure that you encourage your students to really listen to their recordings before they publish their books, to make sure they're the best quality that they can be. You can also add shapes, and there's all kinds of really great shapes that you can add. When you are finished your book, you can publish online. You can collaborate if you've paid for a membership. You can download as an ebook, and that way you can open it on another device, or you can print your book. So there's lots of great ways that you can share, and you're not simply limited to simply publishing it online. So what I'd like you to do is I have a video tutorial for you to watch next, and then I'd like you to create a book that shares a special moment from your life, like a surprise birthday party or a special trip, or maybe you might want to create a book for your students about what your classroom's going to be like this fall. You might want to create a book to introduce yourself to your students, or you might simply want to create a book about your child or grandchild, or even your dog or cat. So the possibilities are endless. The big thing is for you to spend some time playing. As teachers, we know the importance of play-based learning, but sometimes we don't practice it enough ourselves. So I want you to have some fun. I'd love for you to create your own book and then share it with me. I am going to create a library so that you can publish your books to my library, and I'll share that code in the Google Classroom. So this is my dashboard. Now you'll see I have a paid membership. So I have more than one library. Now I have private books. I have access to Book Creator Library, and this is probably the one I will share with you. And then I also have books that my grade 2 students have created collaboratively. And so if I were to try to create a new library, it would tell me I have to upgrade my plan, create a new book. And I am going to choose landscape, and I am going to create an image by importing. And I am going to import from my drive, no. I am going to add an image as a file. And so there is my cover slide for today's presentation. And again, I can simply click on the blue dots and I can make it bigger and fit the page better. Now when I want to add something else to this page, like sound, welcome to Book Creator Basics, everything you need to start publishing. My name is Shelly Bembridge, and I am a 6th grade teacher at Rocky Lake Elementary School. Thank you for joining me for the Summer Learning Academy 2020. So when I'm ready to go to my next page, I will simply click on the plus button. And again, I would continue to do that until I have all the content that I want on my pages. When I'm ready to share this book, I would click on this little button here, Sharing Options, And again, I can publish this online. I need to give it a title, so I'm going to do that. Okay, and then I can publish it online. And I will have a link to either read it online or to copy the link to share to a clipboard. When I'm ready to go in and do some more editing, I simply click on the edit or the pen and I can add more content. And remember, if I want to change the background of my page, I simply click on the I for inspector and I can choose whatever I want for my background. And again, this is where you're going to want to set parameters so that your students don't get hung up, as we all can, in selecting different colors. You really want them to focus on the content. So what I usually do is I give them a couple of minutes or a time restriction. You have 2 minutes to choose your page layout. You have 1 minute to choose the background color. I find it works really well to give them parameters and a countdown. It puts the pressure on them, and then they know that when that time has elapsed, they have to start creating. So there are great webinars that are available through Book Creator that you can attend, and they're almost every day. They have times when you can join, and all you have to do is register, and then you can access the resources. So I encourage you, if Book Creator really appeals to you, connect with the Facebook group for Book Creator for Teachers, and also you can participate in their Twitter chats. I'm Shelly Bembridge, and in this short tutorial for teachers, I'll be showing you and walking you through the steps to get started using Book Creator for Chrome.
Welcome to Book Creator. This tutorial covers creating books, sharing books, and setting up libraries for your students.
Welcome to Book Creator, and I hope you have fun in getting started. This tutorial covers creating books, sharing books, and setting up libraries for your students. My Books is your private library. When you log into Book Creator for the first time, you'll see this tutorial book that I'm recording for you now in My Books, except it won't have all my recordings. My Books is your private library where you can create and store your books. You can also create libraries which can be shared and accessed by your students and other teachers. Adding content to a page in Book Creator is really simple. All you have to do is press the plus symbol in the top right corner to add different types of content like images or videos, items from your camera roll. You can also record video. You can actually write on the page. You can add text and you can record audio. There are so many possibilities in how you can add content to your book. So right now, what I would love for you to do is open up the Book Creator tutorial in your bookshelf and try adding content to the same page that I'm recording on. Moving content. Adjusting the layout of your page is easy. You can move, resize, and rotate the content on your page by using your mouse or finger, depending upon whether or not you have a touchscreen. So when you're ready to move content, you either hover your finger or your mouse on top of the item that you want to adjust. You'll see the 4 arrow hashtags, and that tells you that the item is selected and you can drag it. To resize an object on your page, all you have to do is hover your finger or mouse on the edges of the image where 4 blue dots will appear. You can either drag those to make it smaller, pinch, or drag them out to make them larger. You can also rotate the orientation of an object on the page by, again, hovering your finger or your mouse on top of the object and then spinning the green circle so that you rotate the orientation of it. So again, I'd love for you to work on this and try out these 3 tips for moving content on your page by adjusting the book creator icon in the tutorial. See if you can move it up or down, see if you can make it bigger, and see if you can put it on an angle. Styling content with the inspector. With the I button on the top right corner of your screen, you can inspect content on the page and style it. This is your opportunity to do some editing. So you can change the font, the size, the color of the font, the background. You can also adjust the color of your page background, and you can also layer objects. So if you want items to come to the front or go to the back, you have that option inside of the inspector. So take some time with the book creator tutorial example that you have in your library and play around with the inspector. See if you can make the text purple and see if you can also add it with a different color background and change the size and color of, or size and style of the font. Reading your book. You can read your book at any time by pressing the play button. This will open your book in the web reader, where you'll be able to flip through the pages. Publish and share your books. Try not to be a perfectionist when it comes to sharing your books. You will never publish anything if you wait until it's perfect. So, when you're ready to share a book, you can publish your book online using the share button. And that share button looks like a dot. It looks like the greater than sign. And so there are 3 dots in that formation. And you'll see that on your screen. Published books have a private link, and you can choose who to share it with. So remember to try it now. Don't wait until your book is perfect. Press the play button to read the book, and then press the share button to publish it online. And remember, just because you publish it at this moment in time doesn't mean that it's published forever. You can always stop sharing that book. So don't be afraid, get creating, and start publishing some books to share with your students. Working with students. To get started, create your own library. The free plan lets you have one active library, which can store up to 40 student books. And I encourage you to have one book per student. If you need more books, there are upgrade options available for every budget. And hopefully, given the current situation, administrators will be sympathetic to budgeting technology tools. Invite students to your library. Your students can join your library using a code, and their books automatically appear for you to read. Students can only create books inside a teacher's library. So if they're not connected to your library, they won't be able to create their own books, and that's an important thing to remember. So they will get an invite code, and they'll need to use that invite code in order to start creating their books. You're all set. That's really all you need to get started using Book Creator with your class and for your own practice. Need some help? Get in touch with Book Creator. Check out their user guides for more information. Join their regular Twitter chat to share ideas and tips on how fellow educators are making really good use of Book Creator. You'll really be inspired by some of the ideas that you see if you follow their Twitter chat. You can also check out the expansive bank of resources that Book Creator has compiled for students and teachers, tips and tutorials for how to make good use of Book Creator. There's also some fabulous templates there that you can customize so that you can use the tools that are already there for you without having to spend a lot of time creating them. You can just customize them. So that allows us to work more efficiently. So happy bookmaking. I hope you've learned something. I hope you'll have fun being an author and publishing your books. Be sure to share what you create. I'd love to see it. Thanks for spending the last half an hour plus with me. I actually thought when I was planning this PD that it would take me longer than an hour to share everything that I felt was important. And when I sat down and started creating the tutorials, I was really amazed at how simple it was to get started. So I hope that's encouraging for you, and that if you've allowed an hour for this session, that you can spend the next 25 minutes just playing and creating some content in Book Creator. Please make sure you visit the Google Classroom and access all the resources that are there. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me. I'm also going to post an exit survey on the Google Classroom, and if you wouldn't mind taking a few minutes to complete that, I'd really appreciate your feedback. I'd love for you to connect with me on Twitter, and I would love to see how you use Book Creator with your students. I know this is going to be an exceptional school year, and I really applaud you for using your summer vacation to ramp up your technology game and get prepared, because I think we're going to have a year of doing things a lot differently than we ever have before. So I wish you the best of luck, and I really hope that we get to connect face to face for some PD soon.